Alright, what is going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. So, as the title suggests, in this video I'm going to be learning Ed from scratch, and essentially I'm going to be going over all of the tech or information so that you don't have to. And I'm going to be sorting through a whole bunch of posts and online things that you can use as resources in order to learn Ed faster. Okay, because if you try to sort through everything that's there, you're gonna have a longer time, harder troubles with everything. And I think the first place where I want to start off is based on what I've seen, what normals you're going to be looking at. I think the strongest normal so far, just by looking at the normals, this normal, standing heavy punch. I also think that standing medium kick is also a very good button. I think this might be your go-to whiff punish button, right? Just in case you're in the neutral, whatever, they decide to throw out a button. I think this button might be your go-to button, seeing as how far it goes. Okay, so those are the buttons I'm going to be looking for confirms off of, just because I feel like those buttons are the strongest. On top of which, if I see any tech, I'm going to try and convert it so that it works off of that button. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to Twitter and let's start going through all the tech. Let's go. Okay, so now that you guys can see my screen, I'm just gonna go over some of the tech that I've seen. All right, so let's go over this first one here. So I do want to go ahead and look at, I know Twitter quality is terrible, but bear with me, please. I do also want to know what button they're starting off with. I think that's very important because sometimes people choose the most optimal button in the scenario, but they're not looking at the most practical button in the scenario. Okay, so what I've heard about this button here is that it doesn't hit crouches, so I'm already a little bit, you know what I'm saying. Ooh, okay. So what you want to know in this scenario is the ender and what he's using to frame kill here. Okay, so in this specific case here, it looks like he went for, what is this? It's called kill rush, right? That's a DP ender. So he went for DP ender with sweep, and then once he whiffs, no, he whiffs crouching crouch fierce. Okay, he whiffs crouch fierce and he goes into throw. Okay, so I do know that DP enders are pretty commonplace, so it's fairly common to see someone end like that, and it's pretty good. So I think this piece of tech is pretty good. I think this second part is better. Okay, the reason why is because I have been seeing a lot of characters take advantage of the fact that he hits safe jumps really well. If you don't know what a safe jump is essentially if your opponent tries to use an invincible move to get out of your jump, they can't do so because your jump is considered safe by all regards. So in the case where he tries to use an invincible move to get out the situation, you can block. If he happens to just stand block, it will also hit him. This is the idea of a safe jump. So I do think that this second piece of tech is good. The only thing here I find a little bit weird is that I guess we're going for the punish counter, which I guess I don't mind the routing at all, but I think this is good. Let's see, of course we're gonna have to find a way to use ways to use against Ed as well. Okay, this is tech that we can ignore. No one really cares about this, to be honest. This is stupid. All right, let's see here. Oki set play plus 10. Okay, these people who actually add frame data to their stuff, they may be worth watching. Okay, you see, again, I'm worried about this piece of tech because I'm worried that this doesn't hit crouches. Okay, let's see here. He goes for the rush into the standing heavy kick. Okay, let's just go ahead and confirm that the standing I've only seen this information. I'm not confirmed on this information, but I would like to see whether this is true or not. Okay, so now that we're back in the game here, I do want to go ahead and check out this scenario here where they would be crouching. That's what I was worried about. So when they're starting their combos with this, or at least pushing up on the situation, it does make me a little bit concerned when they go for it. But let's actually try out the tech for itself and let's see how viable it is. So with that being said, I'm gonna do the combo right now. So what I find most interesting about this tech right here is that despite it normally whiffing on crouchers, when you go for the actual route itself, it leaves you +3. Now, while it does leave you +3, I do feel as though the situation itself, you kind of have to walk forward to get grabbed. So you're kind of forced into a situation where you kind of have to go for a button here, right? And if you try to walk, you try to walk into different spaces, then it's just gonna be a little bit too easy to kind of spot what you're going for, you know? And especially if your opponent's trying to walk back, it can be a little bit of a dicey situation, you know what I mean? So overall, I do think it's nice, the fact that it leaves you plus, right? It leaves you plus and in their face. And then honestly, if you really wanted to, if your opponent is always thinking the fact that you're gonna go for this, then what you can start doing is that you can probably just roll up in their face and grab them, right? And they kind of have to respect that. Now, one thing I also saw was the fact that it's apparently a safe jump of some sort, but again, we're still new. I don't really know too much, but we're gonna keep going with the rest of the tech and let's see what we find. Overall, I'd probably say this tech is a solid 7.5. Definitely usable, definitely good, especially when you're mid-screen. Gives you the plus frames. It doesn't give you the mix that I would kind of hope for, mix being strike and throw, but it kind of does leave you relatively close to your opponent, and they kind of have to guess on the situation whether you're going to go for this and get plus frames or whether you're going to go for grab, right? So you can kind of make them think in that regard, so that's not so bad so far, but let's keep going with the different types of tech. Okay, so the next piece of tech here, we're gonna go through probably 5 or 6 pieces of tech here. Let's see this one. Okay, the whiff punish. Oh, okay, so here's this one I already kind of like off rip. Okay, some people like to just throw in tech like cool, optimal combos, whatever. This type of tech is very practical. Okay, you see your opponent, you're fighting a Luke, you see your opponent, you see them whiff. Okay, you see them whiff, and you're like, bah. Okay, lovely starter, a button that we'd use to whiff punish, perfect. And now we're gonna go for the combo. Okay, so here's how I feel about combos like this. Now, the reason why I have an issue with a combo like this is because a combo like this is a cash out combo. Ideally, you're not going to be doing cash out combos all the time, okay? When you're in your normal type of fight, not every combo is going to be a cash out combo. So learning this is important, but it's not crucial to what you need to learn immediately. What you need to learn out the gate is, number one, routes that you can use when you do whiff punish someone. So when you do hit them like this, what routes can you take in order to hurt them and or push them towards the corner, right? So out of 10, I'd probably give this tech, probably for beginners or for starting out, this is probably a 4.5, 5 out of 10. Sure, it's pretty optimal, but when someone says it looks pretty consistently very cool, when people start saying this is a cool thing, probably not worth the time. Okay, this combo I already don't like because you're not always gonna have level 3 or CA available to you, so I don't necessarily care, right? That stuff can come in, you know, day 3, day 4. But as for learning a character on day 1, the optimal punishes is not what you're looking for. You're looking for situations where you can knock your opponent down and make them guess on the situation, like this one right here. Now, I didn't read what he said, but let's read what he said. B&B routing, I think you'll be using whether you can find it. Standards only. Right, standing heavy punch, crouching medium kick, force stand, command dash leaves you +9 point blank, even on precise on back rise, with options to sway for throw baits. Okay, so this one seems like a meaty one, proper smooth. Okay, you get the whiff punish, you get the combo, leaves them in your face. That's beautiful. Now this is a good route right here. The reason being, one, you're only using, for this combo, you're only using the 3 drive gauge, which is pretty standard, right? 2, it leaves them right, it leaves your opponent right in your face. So when they're right in your face, then you can pretty much have them guess between, I don't know, your crouch jab, your standing medium punch, or standing medium kick, whatever you would like to go for. They're right in your face, so they kind of have to guess on the situation between strike and or throw. So this is the type of combos, this is the type of optimizations you like to see. You're not looking for the most extravagant things, but things that you can solidly do in a match, and it makes your gameplay smoother. So this one I'd probably put at either a 9.5 or even a 10 straight, because this is the type of tech that you'll probably end up using on a day-to-day basis. Let's see what we have here. The first day of Goichi's Ed is Magnum Opus. What did he do to him? What did he do to him? RP Manon, man. Okay, he got DP'd. Nah, no shot, he died. No shot, he died. Ah, okay. And then what, he just gets on to death. You see, now this is, you see, now this is just glaze, brother. This is what we call glaze. This is not even that sick, bro. Okay, he's on. He got a projectile into a combo. I like, you know what I mean? It's cool and all, sure, but I think what's more important to note is the routing that he took, right? I think that route might be good for punish counter situations, or at least standing heavy punch starters, because he gets the standing heavy punch after the projectile hits. So I think that is probably worth taking away from the situation. But outside of that, I don't think there's very much to talk about, you know? The combo to kill didn't even really kill, so, you know, I don't really know about that one. Okay, let's look at this next one. This is probably going to be our last one here. I think I like this one a little bit more here, but we'll see in a second. Because this is something, a situation you'll find yourself in, is that when you DI your opponent blocks, but they get wall crushed, right? Into a safe jump. Yes, this is good. This is a 9 out of 10. Now, the reason why this is a 9 out of 10 is because it shows you a situation where you'd find yourself in fairly common, right? Fairly common situation. Gives us a pretty decent combo of pretty decent damage. Once we get the damage, we also get a safe jump where they kind of have to block the situation, you know what I mean, or try to perfect parry it. But even then, when they try to perfect parry, that's a risk on themselves as well. So, you know, it's kind of a good situation. So this is a sort of tech that you would use in a normal game. So I'd probably say this is closer to an 8.5 out of 10. Not necessarily the most important day one, however, it is good tech. But now you're starting to see, I hope you're starting to see the pattern here, where you kind of want to look for a tech that is useful for your immediate gameplay. So things, combos that will lead to beneficial situations, not the maximum I have 6 drive gauge punish counter combos. Those don't do it for you. Unfortunately, those won't do it for you. However, if you feel like those are the things you want to go for it, you know, enjoy the game. However, if you want to learn Ed with as little time as possible, most efficiently, this is how you're going to go ahead and do it. When people start implementing things like safe jump, DI routes, and then you notice that they're being put in beneficial situations, those are better. When they start talking about, when they start gassing bro up mad hard, then you know that's when we kind of have to call it quits. So like another thing, like this one would more likely be a piece of tech that I might be interested in. However, it does seem very situational because it does have counter hit while falling. You're not guaranteed to get that, plus it is drive rush counter hit, so we don't know whether that's going to be good or not. But it's those side of things that you might want to keep an eye out for. With that being said, thank you for watching the video. I hope this helps you learn the character quickly, and with that being said, thanks for watching. And oh, and I have a whole bunch of coaching sessions in that playlist right there. Click that. I like that.